In the previous lecture, we studied about how we can calculate electric field due to a particular point charge or a combination of point charges. But now we will see how to calculate electric field at a particular point when the charge is distributed over a line, a surface, or a volume. So as you can see, uh, the charge can be distributed in three ways: on line or surface or the volume. If the charge is distributed on a line, the rho L is the quantity that defines the charge density and its unit is coulomb per meter. Similarly, for surface, it is rho S and unit will be coulomb per meter square. And for volume, it will be coulomb per meter cube, which is represented by rho V, right? So, for example, if there is a charge which is distributed over a line, and let me call this charge density as rho L. And if you have to calculate a charge just for a very small line element, let me call it as dl, so that you can calculate electric field due to this small line charge element at a particular point P, which I may call it as X, Y, Z. So what you will have to find, you will first have to find the charge which is there on this DL. So how will you find the charge? Let me call the charge at this DL as DQ. So DQ will be nothing but uh, DL multiplied by rho L, right? DL into rho L. So this is the charge dq. And the other thing that you will want to find the electric field is this vector r. As we discussed in the previous lecture, you will need a vector r that connects the point at which you want to find the electric field and the charge element. So exactly the same thing we will be doing. We will first find the expression for charge, the small charge element dq, and then we will find the vector r that will be connecting to this dq point to that a point where we want to find the electric field, and then we will integrate. So if it is a line charge, we will integrate over a line, which will be line integral. For surface, it will be surface integral, and for volume, it will be volume integral. So this is what we are going to do in this lecture. So this is how you can represent your dqs in line charge, surface charge, and volume charge. Now, this is the standard equation for electric field at a particular point. Suppose this point was P, and there was a charge Q, and sorry, this line should be straight. And this line was represented by a unit vector AR, and the magnitude of this distance was R. So the electric field that you can find is given by this expression, right? So uh, we already calculated for line and surface and volume charge that the small charge can be represented at dq, and if you take the integral, you will get the expression for full charge, right? So this is what it is written here. In the place of q, what you have done is you have placed different charges which is represented by the integration of line charge, surface charge, and volume charge. So in the case of line charge, this q will be represented as integration line integral of rho L. So this is what it is written here. And since this r also depends on the place of the charge, because if you see in this example, if you have taken this part, this r will be different, and if you taken this part as dl, this r will be different, right? Because the vectors will change, the length will change. So in the process of integral, you have to include this r and ar inside the integral. It will not be outside, because r is affected by the integral or the place where you are doing the integral. So for line charge, you will have to take the integral like this for calculating electric field, for surface charge like this, and for volume charge like this, right? So this is nothing but the extension of this formula in the case of line, surface, and volume charge. All you have to do is you have to put the AR and R value inside the integral. Now, let us first discuss in detail about the line charge distribution. So what I have done is I have taken a line charge along the z-axis, right? So as you can see, this is x-axis, this is y-axis, and in the top direction, there is a z axis. So the line, the charge is distributed over this z axis on a straight line, and at a point P, let me call this as point P, which is represented by x, y, z, you have to find the electric field. And in the first case, we will just be taking the portion of z axis which is between A and B as the line at which the charge is distributed. And the charge density is given as rho L. So just as in the previous case, you can calculate dq as the multiplication of a small line element dl and the charge density rho L. And since this dl is in the direction of z, we can call it as dz also. So this is what it is written here, rho L into dz. And if you want to calculate the whole charge, you have to, between A and B, you have to take the line integral of rho L dz, right? So the limits will be ZB to ZA. So this point is ZB and this point is ZA. So if you extend this formula of Q to for the calculating electric field, all you have to do is you have to put this thing in the electric field equation. But before going forward, we have to first calculate the expression for R, because this line element DL and this P, which is represented by X, Y, Z, you have to calculate the vector R. So this is a vector R. So what will be the vector R? It will be the subtraction of this point and this point, right? So this is what it is written here in this line. So x, y, z minus 0, 0, z dash, because this point is represented by 0, 0, z dash, this DL point. So you will get this expression. But can you tell me, if there is a straight line in the z direction and you want to find electric field at this point, isn't that this electric field will have similar characteristics in a circular line across this straight line charge? It will be symmetrical. So in this sense, you are finding a cylindrical symmetry across this straight line Z. The characteristic of electric field is very symmetric across this line charge Z. So it will be appropriate for us to use cylindrical coordinates rather than Cartesian coordinate. And we have already discussed in the first section, first unit. So what I will do is I will convert this vector R. This is a vector, right? Don't confuse, it is a magnitude. So it is a vector R. We will convert it into cylindrical coordinates. So if you revise the first term about the coordinate system, you can directly convert this in the form of this. So you will get this. So if you don't remember this, you have to go back and revise. So this R vector can be represented in the form of cylindrical coordinates like this. And the magnitude of R will definitely be how do you calculate the magnitude? You will have R is equal to rho square plus Z minus Z dash square. So if you take a square, this whole thing will get squared, and this is what it is written here, right? This term. Now, if you want to calculate the unit vector AR, and if you want to calculate the whole term, like in this formula, you have to calculate AR upon R square. So as I have discussed in the previous sections, this AR upon R square can also be written as this. What is this AR? AR is the unit vector, right? So AR is nothing but the R vector divided by the magnitude of R. And if you divide it by R square, so you will get R vector divided by R cube. So this is what it is written here. The AR is nothing but R vector divided by the magnitude of R cube. So you already know the R vector and the value of R. So I have just put here everything. And if you put all these things in the formula of electric field, you will get this. So since there is a lot of rho and z and z dash, it will be more appropriate for us to convert these things in the form of angles. So what I have done is I have taken this as the reference line from this straight line z. Remember, in the cylindrical coordinate, the rho was the length, straight length from the z-axis to the point P at which we are calculating our electric field. So from this line, this vector R line will have an angle alpha, and the if you are considering this point B, this point will have an angle alpha 2 and the point A will have an angle alpha 1. So first of all we will talk about the alpha angle. So only this section, this let me clear it out, from this point T to this point DL and this point P. So if you connect these 3 points, you will get a triangle like this. So this was our T point, this is our small DL point, and this is our P point, right? So this is your angle alpha, this is your rho, and definitely this is Z minus this whole length. How much will this length be? This point is Z, right? And this point is Z dash. So how much this length will be? It will be Z minus Z dash. So this is what I have written here, Z minus Z dash rho, and this is the magnitude R, which is given by this. We just saw this. Now using this triangle, you can calculate the value of R in terms of rho and sec theta. So what is this rho? Rho is nothing but this R cos alpha, not theta, it is alpha. So you can say that R is equal to rho sec alpha. So this is what it is written here. R is equal to rho sec alpha. Now, what is the value of Z dash? So in the previous direction, if you see, this point is O, right? This point is O and this point is T. So can you tell me what will be the value of Z dash? This is the height Z dash. So Z dash will nothing but OT, which is this whole length from this T point to this O point, OT minus how much? OT minus uh, this length, right? This length, which is Z minus Z dash. So this length can be calculated from this triangle. And how much is this length? This length can be represented as R, sorry, this is alpha, this is rho, and this is Z minus Z dash. So tan alpha is equal to Z minus Z dash divided by rho, which means Z minus Z dash is equal to rho tan alpha, right? So OT will be, sorry, Z dash, which is this, will be equal to OT minus rho tan alpha. So this is what it is written here, Z dash equal to OT minus rho tan alpha. Now, let me first clear this screen for you. Now, if you see this image, this DL length, a small DL length, and if you want to calculate the electric field at this particular point P, and if you are just considering the charges between this point A and B, what you have to do is you have to change this DL and you have to scan this whole length from A to B using this DL. So what is essentially changing is this value Z dash is basically you are changing from A point to B point. So you are, if you are to take this DL, what you will consider? You will consider dz dash, which is you are changing. You are essentially changing the value of Z dash. So that is why, since here we have already calculated the value of Z dash. So for the sake of line integral, you have to calculate dz dash, and how you will get dz dash? You have to differentiate this Z dash. So if, since this OT, this point O and this point T is constant, because your point where you are calculating the electric field is constant, the distance between O and T is going to be constant. It is not varying. So if you take the differential of Z dash, this will become 0. And what is the differential of minus rho tan theta? It will be minus rho sec square alpha. Sorry, this is alpha. Minus rho sec square alpha into d alpha, right? So in the place of dz dash, which is in this formula, we are going to place this minus rho sec square alpha d alpha. And also in the place of this, we are going to place this. And in the nominator, you will get this. And let me tell you how. So this rho, this is your nominator, right? This thing. It is written as rho a rho plus z minus z dash az. So if you want to convert into the form of alpha, you want to remove this rho and z minus z dash, what you will have to do is you have to see this triangle, this particular triangle. So what is the value of rho? Rho is nothing but R cos alpha. And what is the value of z minus z dash? It is nothing but r sine alpha. So essentially what I have done is I have just put these values in this here in the nominator. So this will become, I take r common, it will become cos alpha a rho plus sine alpha az. So this is what it is written here, cos alpha a rho plus sine alpha az, and r will be out and it will be cut by one of the r in the denominator. So finally you will get this expression. You can do all this math at your home, and if you simplify it, you will get this expression. Finally you integrate it and put the limits. And what are the limits of this dz dash? It is from a point to b point, and in terms of alpha it will be from angle alpha 1 to alpha 2. So this is what it is written, the limits in terms of alpha 2 to alpha 1. And if you finally put calculate the integral and put the limits, you will get this expression. So for a line charge between A point and B point distributed over the z axis at a particular point P, you will find the expression of electric field as this. Now, in the general case, you will, if you talk about the questions in your semester exam or in the GATE or ESE, there will be a straight line which is infinitely large, and you have to calculate the electric field at a particular point which is at a distance rho from that particular straight line. So in that case, if this line is infinitely long, what will happen to alpha 1 and alpha 2? Can you imagine? This A point will go to the minus infinity and this B point will go to the plus infinity. So in that case, this alpha 1 will become how much? If this line has gone to minus infinity, this line will become straight. This line will become straight. So how much this angle will be? Can you tell me? From this, it will be 90°, or you can also say it as pi by 2. And in the case of alpha 2, if this line has gone here, this angle will become, since this direction is the positive angle, in this direction it will be a negative angle. So it will become minus 90° or minus pi by 2. So alpha 2 will become minus pi by 2 and alpha 1 become pi by 2, which is written here. And if you put these values in this equation of electric field, what you will get? You will get your electric field as rho l upon 2 pi epsilon rho a rho. So one thing which is very important here, that from this expression, there was az component also, like the component of electric field in the z direction, which was this direction. This is z direction, and this is rho direction. Let me call it as a rho. Let me call it as az. So in this expression, there was component of a rho also and az also. But here in this case, there is only a component of a rho. The component of az has vanished. So can you tell me why? So let me give you a simple intuition behind this, that if there is a straight infinite line, so if you take this point, suppose this is plus q charge, and also symmetrically opposite to the central line, this point, this is also plus q, since the same charge is distributed over the whole line. What will be the direction of electric field because of this line? Sorry, at this point, it will be like this. My line is not very straight, but you just guess the idea. So because of this plus q, the below one, the electric field will be going in this direction, right? And because of this point, the electric field will be going in this direction. Since both these points are exactly at the same distance from the center in the opposite direction, the magnitude of electric field is going to be the same. So can you tell me about the components of the electric fields? This above, let me call it as E1 and let me call it as E2. So one of the component of both of these electric field will be in this direction, which is arrow direction. And one of the component of this electric field will be in the z direction, which is az direction. So this, let me call it as E1z, and let me call this as E2z. And since both these points are symmetric across the central line, both these angles will also be same. So in that case, Can you tell me the magnitude? What will be the magnitude of E1z and E2z? It will be same. But since the directions are opposite, both these components are going to cancel out each other. So what you will get essentially is only the electric field which is in the direction of rho, right? So this is the intuition behind this, that for an infinitely long line which is having a charge distributed, you will get electric field only in the radial direction outside from the light and not in the normal direction or z direction. So this is very important formula. You should remember it. And the electric field due to this kind of infinite line charge will only depend on the radial distance from uh, the line at which the charge is distributed, and the direction will only be radially outward, right? Now, similar to the line charge, let us quickly discuss about the infinite sheet of surface charge distributed over xy plane. So I have taken the xy plane over which an infinite, we will consider an infinite sheet over which the surface charge rho s is distributed, right? And we will be calculating electric field at a point in z axis, which is given by this 0, h. And for calculating surface charge, definitely, as we did in the line charge case, we took a small line element dl. In the case of surface charge, we will take a small surface element as ds, right? So similar to the previous case, dq will be rho s ds, q will be integration of this rho s ds, and if you want to calculate the electric field, you will have to take the integral of this particular thing, and definitely you will also have to calculate the value of r and ar, which is the vector which connects this small ds element to the point at which we are calculating our electric field. So if you see this figure, can you tell me what will be the value of this r vector? It will nothing be the subtraction of this point and this point. At this point, we are also taking here also we will be discussing in cylindrical coordinates, and this point can be represented as rho phi, and since z is 0, so this point will be 0. So this point we can write as rho phi 0, and this point is definitely 0, 0 h, because rho and phi values are 0, and height is h. So, sorry, this angle will be actually be phi. And why it will be phi? Because if you are talking about this direction phi, in this direction the point p will also have the angle phi, because you are looking at in this direction only. So if you calculate r, you will subtract from this point to this point and you will get this. So phi will be removed. You will only have minus rho arrow and haz. So if you take the magnitude, if you talk about the magnitude of r, it will be this. So exactly the same process like the line charge case. You will get your dq as rho s ds, and in the surface integrals, you remember that ds is represented as like this. So rho d phi d rho. So all we will put this in the final equation of d, and we will finally take the integral. And you remember that if you want to take the integral of this surface in the cylindrical coordinate, you will have to vary this phi angle from 0 to 360-degree, right? And you will have to vary this rho from 0 to infinity, because the surface is infinity. So this is why I have taken the limits of this surface as 0 to 2 pi for phi and 0 to infinity for rho. And all you have to do is, now you have to put all these values in the surface integral. This one is very simple with respect to the previous case. And if you put all these values, what you are going to get is E is equal to rho s upon 2 epsilon Az. So one very important thing comes from here is that there is no expression of H in this formula. So if you see this surface and if you see this point was at a height of h, right? At a height of h from this surface. This was the height h. But when we calculated the electric field, there is no expression of h in this. What does it mean? It means that for any infinite surface over which the electric charge is distributed, or at all the points in front of or in the back of the surface, the electric field is going to remain exactly the same. At all the points, it will be exactly the same. And also, it will be in the direction normal to that surface, because what is the normal to this surface which is in xy plane? It is z axis, right? So what we found is that for an infinitely large surface charge, the electric field will be constant and all the points above and below this surface, and the direction of electric field will be normal to this surface. So this is a very important formula you have to remember: rho s upon 2 epsilon, and the direction will be az. And if we talk, since this surface was taken in the xy plane, if you talk any surface, if you take any surface which may be in any plane, and suppose this surface has a unit normal vector as an, so in this case, at any point, the electric field will have the value magnitude of rho s upon 2 epsilon naught if the surface charge density is rho s, and the direction of electric field is always going to be the normal of this surface S, right? So this is what it is written here for any surface. Now finally, we will be talking about the volume charge. In this example, what I have done is I have taken a volume, spherical volume, symmetrically in the x, y, z coordinate. Since the volume charge is a 3D quantity, so this volume is distributed in the x, y, z 3D plane like this, right? And since the charges are symmetrical across this origin point, which is 0, 0, 0, we can use spherical coordinates, because if there is a symmetry in 3D, there is a spherical symmetry, it will be more convenient to use a spherical coordinate. So similar to the previous case, uh, if you take a small volume element, let me call it as dv, and if you take integral over this whole volume and calculate your e, you are going to finally get this formula. So you can do this at your home, and it is also given in the book. So you are finally going to get the expression of electric field as this, which is equivalent to putting a charge of value q at origin and calculating at a particular point which is given by 0, 0, z, right? So if there is a volume charge which is put at any particular point and it is distributed spherically, and if you want to calculate electric field at a particular point, then what will happen is this whole volume charge will be behaving as a small charge q, which is given by the integral of this whole volume charge. And all you have to do is you will have to just apply that point formula, the electric field for point charges, to get the electric field here. So essentially, if there is a spherical charge rho v which is distributed here, and if you want to find the electric field at a point p, and if you connect the center of this sphere with p, and if you get this distance vector r, then uh, what is going to happen is that if the total charge uh, enclosed in this volume is q, which is given by integral of rho v dv, so you will get your electric field expression as this. So it will essentially be working as a charge q which is concentrated on this particular point, which is the origin of this volume, right? So since this is spherically symmetrical, so for volume charge cases distributed over spherical surfaces, spherical volumes, we will be using a spherical coordinate, and this AR will be representing the radial direction from that particular volume charge at which we are calculating our electric field. One more thing I want to add before closing this lecture is that, like in the line charge case, we saw that the perpendicular component of the electric field were canceling each other, right? That is why we were getting only the radially outward electric field direction for infinitely long line charge. Similar to that, if you take two surface charges exactly opposite in the opposite direction, and if you see the electric field because of this one is going to be this, and electric field because of this surface charge is going to be this, let me call it as E1 and E2. So what you will see is that since these both these small surfaces ds1 and ds2 are equal and symmetrically opposite from this particular point, which is 0, 0h, you will see that the horizontal component of this E1 and E2 will cancel each other, and only the normal of the surface component will remain, right? So this is why you will see that in the expression of this electric field for infinite surface charge, you are only getting the normal component. You are only getting the normal component, because if you imagine in your mind, all the horizontal or all the component which are parallel to the surface are going to cancel each other, because this surface is symmetrical, right? So depending on this exact phenomena, I am going to give you one assignment in which you will have to calculate electric field at a particular point which is given by 0, 0h, because of a circular ring. So there is a, this is a circular ring. It is not a like surface. It is a ring which is circular in the xy plane, which is having a line charge density of rho l, and you will have to calculate the electric field at a particular point. Let me call it as P, which is having the diamond like the value as 0, 0h, and the the radius of this ring is a, and you will have to calculate the electric field at this particular point. So I think you have the idea that whatever is the answer, it will be going to be in only in the z direction, which is the normal to the this surface of this ring, and all the component in the parallel direction are going to cancel each other. So this is going to be your assignment and I hope you will solve it at your home. Thank you.